Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 2410. I'm your host, Arwin. And before we start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are in the description box below, or send me super chat over to Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. You can always use it. Right. So yeah, sorry for starting so late today. Went out for groceries and that took a little longer than I anticipated. But I am stocked up again. Alright, anyway. Thought I'd do that before the show because the weather's just beautiful. I wanted to catch some sun on the chance that later in the afternoon that'll go away. Though it doesn't really look like it's gonna get thick clouded, but you never really know. Right, so some blue skies with haze. It's probably trail based. Didn't really notice it much. Wasn't paying too much attention to the sky earlier. But it does seem like it's getting hazed up a bit. No real thick clouds out there. Sorta halfway gray soup, but not fully. And yeah, still plenty of sun coming through this. So it is kind of beautiful. try to buy something and then it just won't do it. And that's how people start noticing. I don't know. But yeah, a bit unnerving. I mean, especially for a guy like me that is, well, welfare dependent. I'm really nervous about it. I mean, not that like, oh, I have a lot of like secret stuff but still, are they just gonna like determine for me like, oh no, you're just gonna buy this now? Like, oh, fucking hell. Ugh. Because I really try to stick to an organic diet, and like non-organic food, I've tried some recently and it is not good. Quite literally felt poison. I thought like, nah, it's exagger. Like I've been exaggerating slightly. It's like it can't be that bad. No, it is, and it's very palpable to me. So it's just a bit disappointing, really. I had hoped that things would be better, but I mean, I guess it could be worse. The non-organic food out there, but still, there is just stuff that has like modified starch in it, and when the ingredients are just not really laid out on packages, that's always a bad sign. And I can just like smell the chemical nature of some of these components. It just doesn't smell right. Ugh. Anyway, it's surprising to me that there's still even in the Netherlands that regular food just still has like chemicals, and it's probably not as bad as in the US, but still it's like it's not good. And I really don't know why it's necessary or why it's even allowed. If it was up to me, it wasn't even allowed. It's like no more pretend food, just no more chemicals for food. It's just be gone. It's all filler. It's all just to make it cheaper or to be able to store it longer, and it's got to stop. It's not necessary really anymore. There's continual farming and better ways of doing it, and to just be able to get everything fresh, and it's just not necessary. You're not dependent on like, oh, we just got to produce a ton and then last like 10 years with it. Like it's just not necessary anymore. Only if you want big corporations wanting a lot of money and let the toll be paid by the people. Like that's the only ones it's good for, that it's allowed, and it should just stop. Right? Right, but I mean, yeah, dreams of standardizing organic food to make it the default. I've been having that dream for decades, but it just doesn't look like it's gonna happen anytime soon. Although the standard quality has improved since then. It's a bit better. It's like everything is like a quarter to a half organic. But still, I don't trust it. Anyhow, food. Oh, talking about food, I got myself a little bonus today. Since I was starting so late, I got a croissant. Ooh. I'm gonna get that later. Looking forward to it. It's my made it through the month croissant. I'm just gonna do that like once a month, I think. What can I talk about? Yeah, yesterday's show is kind of weird. Dealing with Cleary, frustrating. I don't even know, like, anybody watching that not live can even really tell too well, like, what's going on. I think I did, like, read out what he was saying mostly. I just wonder, like, how many people find that even confusing to follow. But it was kind of a nuisance. Cleary gets really weird, where he basically just starts pathologically lying, and I don't even think it's like really meant as evil. It's just like being oppositionally defiant in some way, being obtuse, because it just makes statements that it's almost like a trick, like he's trying to trick you to see if you don't notice, because he's saying blatantly incorrect things. Like, that can't really be his position. If he's that, then he's just desperately trying to get away from the natural order, which a lot of people are in like the flat earth research community, and weirdos and trolls, and they're desperate to get away from the natural order of things, to find this way through, but really outside of logic, like trying to escape from logic, which is like trying to get away from God, and that's not good. That's technically evil, even though it's just escapist. Probably doesn't like intentionally mean harm to deceive, but it is in a way his subconscious is. This is not good, and so I have to then get strict with it. All right, and I mean, he has this weird tendency of being academic about things, but it's not really very deep. Yeah, Cleary's a mixed bag. I mean, when he's in a good mood and he's not so oppositionally defiant, then he's pretty cool. Hashtag intolerance. It's in the hashtag list. Right. And in the meantime, the Tartaria puzzle remains before me, and not really putting the pieces together. They're in their case, in how they arrange things to be about all of it. They blatantly leave things out that are just right there staring in the face in a big way. Might be just very painful for a lot of people, that have become used to just being able to like get all the information and immediately solve the puzzle. Well, the Tartaria puzzle is not going to be solved so easily. Hello? Respect Effie? Right. Because things that are solved is kind of, yeah, when it's solved, like flat earth to me is solved. I mean, yeah, I don't know the full confine, right? But I definitely know it's flat. It's like an absolute certainty to me in so many ways. To it again is if I have some bizarre inspiration or vision related idea or whatever that just like the Mount Olympus idea, and then like, oh, maybe it's a staircase, right? That just comes out of nowhere. So it's like right next to flat Earth. But it doesn't have anything to do with like the technical arguments really about it, nothing with the physics and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, somebody might inquire or make some kind of claim, and then I can use that knowledge to immediately have like a very refined response that is very informative and complete. But it's not really, yeah, by myself, I'm just not going to really tap into it. Right? Unless I have some very amazing idea. Like plateau, looping staircase, flat earth. Which is still on the table. It's actually come to the point now where I am even accepting it almost as a standard in visualization of reality. I really think we are on a plateau that is part of a staircase and it's a looping system. I really think this. And it's amazing. It's very exciting. Because there being a Mount Olympus and it being an enormous challenge physically, not just mentally, physically, to figure out how to get up to the next plateau. Even with rocket technology and drone stuff, and it's still not easy. It just feels like there's still a really big exploration level challenge. And it might be covertly researched by billionaires. Like in my mind, I could think like maybe Elon Musk kind of like knows a little bit about this, about there is a place we got to get up there. And that the rocket research he does and all that it's still kind of serving a purpose for that exploration of the real realm situation, and not space, that the spaces and other planets is just a cover story for the public, because it also draws in a lot of enthusiasm from people there and money, and so that's why it has to be the open story, would have to be space. But in the real world, it could be an actual attempt at exploration of trying to get on top of Mount Olympus. And that excites me because I love the idea of exploration. I love it even in Dungeons and Dragons when it's just in your mind. Like, oh, what is this realm? It's like, what is this place actually that is being simulated in the game? Just immediately, like, I want to know what my character knows and what the legends are and what have explorers said. Yeah, even if it's just a simulation in the mind, it's like, I want to know the exploration, right? So I think it could be there, and it's way more logical than we're on the disc in a dome, we're trapped, nothing else to explore. I think there is other things to explore. I think God would even provide physical challenges. It's what I would do if I had designed the whole place throughout time. You like D&D too? Okay, yeah, for me it's been 5 years. 5 years. I really miss it. I was doing it for like 5 years before that and went great. But yeah, after the whole COVID lockdown crap and it all fell apart. Some of them were like also very vax enthusiastic, so I really hope that they're still around. Some of them I haven't heard back from. Like one guy was a nurse, and like I really worried for him. Like he did not see any objections with vaccines. I really tried to warn him at the time. Alright. And I miss D&D. It's such a great tool. It's playing D&D with a group and you're really all tuned in. It's unimaginably better than just playing a video game. It really is. Because instead of the computer doing all the visuals and everything, it's your inner mind that can do it. And it can do a way better job than any computer screen could. It really can. Right? Because if you're going to play a game, the visuals are going to be the visuals. But in your mind, the visuals are going to be a way. This also happens when people read books, by the way. It's going to be a way. And then later you think back to it. And because of everything that you learned since then, new things can automatically be supplemented into the original memory of it. So that inner visualization is a very dynamic thing, and it's great. You can do things there that don't happen like that on screens in computers. Because when something is generated as a visual, that's it. That's the way it then is. Now, of course, programmers can like reconfigure things, update, and then a new thing is added or whatever. But I mean, the mind does that a lot more. And it's a great thing to use. And yeah, playing Dungeons and Dragons is typically one of those types of things where you use it a lot. And it's great. And I kind of miss it. I was really good at it. Played a Game Master, and like, yeah, I can really do that. But it requires a very sophisticated chemistry and social understanding, though, and holding a D&D group is not easy. Players, a lot of them will naturally try to start dominating and changing how things go. You have a lot of gamma issues with Dungeons and Dragons because Dungeons and Dragons also attracts a lot of gammas. And gammas are extremely difficult to deal with. Usually groups break up because of gammas. Because they're just disrupted and they just basically try to take over. And if the game master is not strong enough, then he will be dominated and it will just ruin everything. Right. So yeah, I have some experience with that sort of thing. My friends and I like to dress up in character when we play. That is so nerdy, but great. It's not great. It's great in a nerdy way. It's nostalgic for me. I don't really dress up because for me it's like I'm all in black. That's the way it should be, because it's not about how we look. It's about, are you able to tap in with your mind and your ears? You listen to each other. You use the board as a wireframe template, and then latch on with your imagination everything in the reality as it's supposed to be there in the game. So for me personally, I'm more like, no, don't dress up. Make your character a pawn for the game board. Make it really awesome and really the way it's supposed to be. And like my players would also like draw, which is awesome. Like you gotta have a couple of artists in playing alongside, because then they get inspired and they start drawing scenarios out, like little portraits, which is great. Can be really funny or really beautiful, but it's great to have, and then you can like use those drawings in like the story. It all just becomes a creative part of each other. It's great. It's also the same kind of magic as like what Owen Benjamin does with his troupe, where everybody just contributes a thing and then it just becomes part of that legend. That's what makes a good Dungeons and Dragons group that's very serious, because it is a dedication. Like once you start doing that, you're going to be doing that for years. Right. Right. I had a really good group. Very sympathetic people with like real characters, and I mean, we were a bunch of freaking liberals though, but not like dumb, politically screeching liberals. Nobody had painted colored hair, but they were all like neutral on the liberal side with opinions. But I mean, they would actually tolerate me having completely opposite opinions. Not LARPing. No, not live action role playing. That's very different. That's doing dress up and going out in the woods, which is kind of fun, I guess, especially if you're a bit younger. But that's different. I did that for a while too, but I mean, it's nothing like tabletop role-playing games. That's where you really use your imagination. That's what they call it, or inner visualization. Imagination is a way too broad a term, really, for me to still use. It's very ambiguous and vague and colored. I like LARP too. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I might be a little bit too old for LARP by now. But I mean, also LARP, you gotta have some money and stuff. But I don't really have that anymore. D&D is just great. You just need a rudimentary amount of things, and for the rest, like, you could be dirt cheap and you could play D&D. It's no issue. Like Dungeons and Dragons is actually a great poor man's game. Although, yeah, there's like rich nerds that love to do it and then brag with what they got. Those tend to like be less interesting games than my games. I mean, my game is like I really try to make it like a Lord of the Rings level. Not literally like that, but it's like it's very serious because as soon as the world starts and it's like a long-term world, I don't yet know everything, but I know it's going to have a depth. So I'm already like trying to prepare to simulate, to get flashes out of like the other dimension in which it is forming, what it is like to the characters, and like what is the backstory going to be like, what is the lore going to be like, and it just starts manifesting. And that's great. Use cardboard, okay. I don't know. I guess you could use cardboard. Whatever. Weird. Dungeons and Dragons. I have like tons of dice. You do need dice, but I mean anybody can get dice. Aha, croissant. Woohoo. Looks like a nice day there. Yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, at least it's not raining. So that makes it a good day. You use matchsticks if you're lucky. Okay. Well, I guess you could like do Dungeons and Dragons really cheap with junk. I mean, pieces of stick and rocks. You could, and do it on the ground. You could do it with anything. Croissant looks delicious. Share? How can I share the croissant? I'm sorry. You're gonna have to get your own croissant. I can't give you a bite. Well, since you're into Dungeons and Dragons, I might just as well just show you some of my books. It's not going to be difficult which ones they're going to be. Of course. Ones that we are the most visually appealing. Like Book of the Dragons. The Draconomicon. Alright, this is the kind of stuff you want to see. Yeah, I'm so happy with these books. And I've used them too. I mean, this is all Dungeons Dragons 3.5 compatible, which is the system that I still use. The most expansive. Mm. Of course, the book, Manual of the Planes. Probably the most important game book of all time. It's like super awesome that this exists. This is literally like a cosmology. This is cosmology the full works in Dungeons and Dragons universe. It's incredible that that even exists. How many games have a book about cosmology? Interplanar cosmology. How many books do you know? Games that have that. Yay! The 9 hells! Oh my god! What shall we do? This is where you want to be. Celestia. I mean, there's some fascinating stuff here, and there's like even been computer games that have fully deployed using these. Such a bizarre thing. But I mean, seriously, everything in here, it's all flat. I mean, they would probably not admit that at Wizards of the Coast, or maybe they would because they feel really special. But I mean, just the visuals in all of this, it's all flat. And that like was epic to me, like getting into Flat Earth and then suddenly realizing like, holy shit, like yeah, every depiction of every realm, every dimensional realm here, it's all freaking flat. All of it. Those book expensive? Yeah. No, they probably are now because they're pretty old. I mean, they were not that expensive at the time, like $40 or something. You might get them really cheap. I mean, they're like Dungeons and Dragons is at like version 7 or 8 now. This is like 3.5. But that is like peak Dungeon. That is like the best time where there is the most. And it's open license, which is incredible. Also enabled me to make my own version of it. Trolls and Tyrants. It's just like my technical rulebook that I made between 2005 and 2015. Jumper. What? What the fuck? What the hell are you talking about? Jumper cables? Who are you? 2005, you were in school? Yeah, I bet. And I did not say stair stepper. I don't know what you're talking about. It's getting weird. Right, anyway, it's kind of nice talking about Dungeons & Dragons again. I don't do it all the time. But it's just like playing Baldur's Gate. Right? It's been out there for 27 years. And it's like something I just come back to every now and then. What a great game. A great game series. Like, it's still like not been surpassed in my opinion in ways. The soundscape system that they had was so incredible. The way the music would blend from scene to scene in its theme, and just the background sounds, all the background, like you just like 3D top down view, or at an angle top down view, it's all drawn. And like when you scroll over the screen, you would have different background sounds based on where your screen was at, and all kinds of very elaborate background sounds. It's incredible what they assemble. Like all the sounds of just hanging over, looking into town, and just conversations in the background, and sounds of chickens, and just so much. It's like an incredible sound library. And it's really just in the background. Like, if you don't pay attention, you wouldn't even really notice, but you really feel it though as you're playing it. You get so suspended into that world because of it. It's incredible. Like the graphics, meh, not impressive, but the soundscape, whoa, so advanced. And I mean, it is more important in the Dungeons & Dragons. Like the sound, the conversation, the voices, that's everything to real Dungeons & Dragons. To actually playing the tabletop to, and to like in a game as well. It's like the visuals have second grade important. It's all about the soundscapes. And just Baldur's Gate franchise, just in my opinion, is like one of the most impressive games I've ever seen with soundscapes. Oh god. What do you think of Rising Earth? What? Really? It's nonsense. Earth is stationary. Yeah, I mean, Rising Earth? Rising into what? How? Why would it do that? Just nothing about it makes sense. It's a relativity mind experiment that, by the way, Einstein had literally rolled out at the time. And it wasn't necessarily globe compatible. He thought that up to basically give an excuse as to like why the forces are the way they are, and that's it. Earth is not rising up. You can never prove that it is, and logically, like, it makes no sense. What would make it rise up physically? And in what place does this enclosed realm then exist to rise up in forever? Like, nothing about it makes sense. It's just a thought experiment. Yet, some people out there, like, beyond the imaginary curve, Dell will just hang on to it, pun intended, hang on to that Rising Earth for years. It's his shtick now. So yeah, Ken, the person that keeps coming back and suddenly out of nowhere bringing it up. Is that you, Ken? Would explain a lot. Do I know Mikey's? Yeah. Flat Earth Mobile? What does that make? What does that mean? Okay, you're not Ken, I guess. Never mind. He's just the guy that always brings up Rising Earth and wants to debate me on it. And I'm like, no thanks. Barbie, I'm a what? Okay, you're a girl, I guess. I'm not gonna do a collab with Mikey, thanks. And you're a nerdy girl, so you're called nerdy. Okay, fine. I guess I attract those. What? No, it's not a crossbow. It's a bow. Crossbows are cool. Yeah, that's really nice. It's not a crossbow. croissant was nice. Wish I had more coffee. I will, though. I did get fresh new coffee again. It lasted pretty long. The coffee I had. What are you talking about? Don't tell me about your frickin' kinks. Yeah? Don't bring your fetish shit in my chat. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a public place. Yeah, and before you realize it, you need to know, like, if you're even a real person and a troll infiltrant, yeah, there's trolls watching all the time. They're staring right there from the sideline. Yeah? Don't feel too freaking comfortable sharing every goddamn thing that's on your heart here. Yeah? Because there's nasty bullies on the sideline looking. Yep. If you want to get me to know me in a more private way, don't just blurt everything out here. You gotta contact me and like on Microsoft Teams or through Discord, and then we can just talk in private there. Don't share like everything. Yeah, trolls are watching. That's right. And it's a pretty good advice for in general. Like, this is a live show. You don't just share every intimate thing on the internet like that. That's how your frickin' internet life gets ruined. Maybe speaking. No! You just don't do that. You just don't share your frickin' intimate things in a chat on a public platform. You just don't do that. That's foolish to do that. Yeah, if you want like a private conversation, like a friend or whatever, then you have to just contact me privately as a friend, and then you can like share all this stuff, and prefer to actually see you so that I know that you're a real person and not just another made-up character by trolls. You would be like the 200th individual that they've simulated to try to interact with me. That might sound shocking to you, but I mean, I've been through this for like 6 years. They do it all the time. So at this point, I'm not even remotely expecting the outcome of our interaction to be like you turn out to be a real person. Yeah, the chances of that to me are like 5%. So do I have OF? I don't know what that is. No. Microsoft Teams and Discord. Anyhow, moving out of the D&D subject, I'm kind of proud of how I've been able to lay down how I've experienced and interacted with the dark world, and just in my memory it all connects, how I connect back to the past. Kind of funny because Alex Jones was sort of also talking about that yesterday with his special moments that he had, which are of a different nature, less elaborate, less chaotic, where he says that God basically approached him. And he's probably right. I do not disbelieve that. But I don't know, sometimes it's weird. No, it's not a joint. I do not smoke a frickin' joint during the show, ever. Yeah? It's just a cigarette that I roll, not a joint. Yeah, Alex Jones, that's right. Smoke joints is legal. Yeah, that's cool. It's legal here too, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna do that on the show. I think that's atrocious. I try not to like. I do not smoke on screen either. I take it outside because that's normal. You should do that. You quit D&D too many Ks. Okay. Can't say I disagree with that notion. I have seen a lot of gays and a lot of gammas. It's tedious. I mean, once you get like real SJWs in the D&D group, it sucks. It really fucking sucks. Because those people can't they don't have any moral sensibility. They have no respect for the notion of good and evil, which is an intricate part of Dungeons and Dragons universe. Jesus. Dude, don't talk about that. What the fuck is wrong with you? Don't tell me about your fucking sexual experiences in the chat. Okay? Do that one more time and you're banned. Get a fucking grip. What the hell's wrong with you? Yeah? Just, if that is the way that you frickin' talk, then go to frickin' OnlyFans already and stay there. It wasn't I don't care. Don't do that. What the fuck does being American have to do with it? Just don't do that. Jesus. That's years ago. I just left them there. They're all dried out. No, I did not squeeze. What the? Dude. What are the lemons for? Nothing. They're just sitting there. Okay, you're out of here. Bye. You piss off too. Done with this bullshit. I mean, it was nice to talk about D&D for a bit, but I mean, this is bullshit. I'm not gonna deal with you. I mean, you really seriously expect me to believe you're not a troll at this point? Really? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not playing that fucking game anymore, yeah? You're not gonna dilapidate the quality of my show with a bunch of fucking simulated people that act like degenerates. You got it? It's not what my show is about. Yeah? Go hang around your fucking retard spaces somewhere else. this is the level of communication that you youngsters do. Dude, I want nothing to do with that. It's degenerate to me. I just can't accept that. I just can't. I might be able to tolerate being in the same room around that, but I'm not gonna do that here on my show. It's no. Guess my show is aimed at a little bit more mature audience. So this is a show about deep thoughts and considerations and philosophy and religion and being a think tank. Not that shit. Yeah, this is not just some place to hang and just talk about nonsense. You can do that somewhere else. Right? Because even like bringing up Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, it's entertainment, sure. But there's just great elements about it, and that's why I like to bring it up, because I've learned so much from doing it. And like really notice the difference between it and like playing video games. It's massively more enriching and inspiring, and that's why I like to bring it up. And because it's interesting, because of like the Manual of the Planes, there's a lot of hidden occult knowledge in Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just fascinating to think about those things from that perspective, from a cosmological perspective, from an alternative historical perspective. And that's it. Right, anyway. Fuck, another shooter. Jesus. Oh god. There's another sniper shooter apparently shooting ICE officers in Texas. That apparently just happened. Ugh. Alright. So yeah, started out kind of amicable, then just turned into complete nonsense again, and just, yeah, doesn't work out. Right? Anybody watching, I mean, there's going to be people potentially bumping into this show and just like, oh, hi, I'm just going to talk and interact. Well, there are standards here. I don't want any nonsense and just hanging around and just. There's got to be some standard here of communication. Yeah, and I don't like this modern level normalization of weird. It's just don't share too much information. But this is just weird. It's super distracting, and it gets everybody all loosened up in ways that they shouldn't be loosened up. Yeah, everybody goes like into anything goes mode, and anything goes mode is not acceptable in this chat. I don't find that acceptable. Right? I mean, if it was private, you wanted to communicate with me privately like that, that's fine. And then you can just say all those weird shit thingies and all that. Yeah, because it's private then. That's fine. Don't do that in just the chat on my live show. It's not acceptable. If you can't deal with that, then you shouldn't be there in the chat. Right? But if you want to talk to me privately, I understand. You can just do that. You could just do that. You could just add me or send me an email or something. I am open. I am open for private communication. Kind of always have been. Right? But if you want to be hang around in the chat, you gotta have to take it a bit more serious and be more subject driven, analytical, and yeah, keep private things more private. Because there's always people watching. There's people that do not have my or my audience's best interest at heart that are watching and doing shit with that. Where's Gaining Wisdom? Where's Fiber Oats? Where are all the guys? I mean, I was an hour. Like, where is everybody? My familiar friends. I don't know. They're all not here. Anyway, I hope everybody appreciated just my little Dungeons and Dragons comparison with video games. There are like substantial differences, and that you should keep that in mind if you're gonna do it. Like I can recommend any video gamer unless you're like into shooters, first person shooters or whatever, but any kind of adventure or role playing type games, yeah, they can be fun, but dude, actual Dungeons and Dragons tabletop, it's way more interesting, but it takes dedication though. You have to actually like contain yourself a bit, right? Because it's not you doing it with other people. Definitely recommend you would try it out. It's way more interesting than video games. Video games are convenient, though. You can like play it, it's on your own, it's in private, and you can do it and stop playing it whenever you want. Dungeon Dragons, yeah, you have to have appointments and then a significant amount of dedicated time to it with other people that you have to get along with. Is a gamer channel? No. But it's the subject for today. Just so happens to be. But no, this is not a gamer channel. This is flat earth, alternative history, spirit mechanics, psychology, conspiracy theories, geopolitics too. That's what this channel is really about. But I mean, it's also about food and food health, and sometimes a little bit about games and television series and right, and movies. Talk about that too sometimes. I mean, you talk about a lot of different things. You have to when you have 2,410 shows. When you do a show every day, yeah, it's going to be a lot of different subjects. Do I usually DM or play as a character? Well, I don't usually play. I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons in over 5 years. But when I did, I was the game master. And I did play as a player with some other people, but I mean that usually didn't last very long. Short campaigns or would just break apart very quickly. So I was mostly relying on having my own game as a game master. I still have all the works here. I was like 1/3 into the entire thing. That's so much material that I made that never even got to it. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna take a 2-minute break and I'll be right back. Don't forget to rub it up if you're liking the show. Okay. Do you guys do more roleplay or more combat? A bit of all of it. There would be a lot of conversation, but also combat. But I mean, the greatest time with the group was when it's like the characters among each other interacting, especially like building their home base with the riches they've gained. Those are always very interesting. Like they had a tavern and stuff would happen at the tavern and it would integrate it into the story and it became its own thing and building their own legend. So, but yeah, plenty of combat, plenty of role playing, like storylines that would literally develop as we went. Critical hits are the best moments. Yeah. Ah. You still play Skyrim? Damn. I used to play Skyrim 10 years ago. But yeah, I don't play like first person 3D games anymore. It like my stomach can't handle it. But yeah, Skyrim was incredibly beautiful. I still remember. Always the mage, okay. Stomach motion sickness. Yeah, I've had that issue ever since the late 90s, when 3D games really started to get more available. Because I didn't have that issue at first, but like when things started to become like visually more spectacular and realistic, it just I get yeah I don't know exactly what it maybe you call it motion sickness. I'm not the only one who has the issue. A lot of people have this issue with 3D, especially when they grow a bit older. And I can't handle it. I even get sick watching other people play 3D games. Like watching somebody play it on a screen, it makes me sick too. It has the same effect. So I don't do that anymore. I usually stick to games where it's a more top-down view and it just stays. And you scroll to look around. Like that's the type of games that I can play without getting sick. So it's like strategy games and like games like Civilization. It's common? Yeah, I guess so. And it'll get worse. It's also why I really like, for example, Baldur's Gate franchise 1 and 2. Like that's a top down at an angle where you're looking down on it like this, and it's drawn from top down. Like, and that works really well. And like I can keep playing that, and it's like it never gets me sick, it never gets me disoriented. But like even Baldur's Gate 3, like they did a full 3D thing, and even though it doesn't make me sick, it's already like, why did they have to do that? Why couldn't they just stick to like a really basic graphics? Like it would work way better. And there's a lot of like nostalgic type games that realize that, and they really stick to old game formats because it's actually better. For me, the best games are the games that have a great soundscape and relatively primitive graphics. And I bet it's a lot better like on your video card too, because like 3D shit, especially modern 3D, it takes a lot of calculation power and a lot of energy to do that. Baldur's Gate 3 is, yeah, I know I've played it, but I don't play it a lot. Like the game is nothing to do with Baldur's Gate, literally, and I don't know. It seems incomplete. You just have one big area and that's it, and then nothing. So it seems kind of incomplete. And even though it was an interesting interface, had interesting options, it was not really as functional as it as it could have been, and it's just incomplete as a game. And I didn't really like the story setup, and it had nothing to do with freaking Baldur's Gate at all, or with like the original story. Like it just didn't have anything to do with it, so it's stupid. It's like it should be called Baldur's Gate, in my opinion. I visualized a different Baldur's Gate 3 where it would literally be the story continues after you defeat, after the throne of Baal had been reconquered, and then continue from there on and basically be interplanar. Like, why didn't they just do that? The story could have been continued. And I have like ideas for that. I mean, maybe one day, never. But maybe one day I'll get to the point where I'm like, I want to develop like a Baldur's Gate game that's basically with the graphics of the old games. No 3D shit. Great soundscape, again, maybe some recycled of it. And just continue the damn story, and hopefully I'll even like get the same voice actors if they're still around. Do you program games? No. I wanted to kind of like be a computer game designer when I was younger. I actually really thought I was going to be that, but then when I was wanting to go to college, like they basically rejected me. I think it's because I wasn't liberal enough. I just wanted to make great games, and I had all these plans and papers with designs, and like they just rejected me twice. Like, what the fuck? That was like a bitter disappointment for me. I've been kind of drifting ever since. It's like, okay, so not making computer games then? Art? Goldsmithing? That's what it kind of became, goldsmithing then? But yeah, in the background, I'm like just doing a lot with psychology and spiritual development. But yeah, I never really became a game programmer. Like actual programming is not where my talent is at all. I'm not good at programming. Yeah. But I mean, I could like create scripts and stories though. Thrown out of college? Oh, what? How'd you do that? The frat? Okay. I write scripts. Yeah, I guess I do. I wrote a script once for the Matrix continuation before the Matrix 4 came out. It's still out there, private, and I mean the story of my Dungeons and Dragons game that I played for 5 years with these guys, like it's out there. It is a full-blown story. I actually thought of like turning it into a video game. And like that would work really interesting. Like it would be interesting to actually have like an engine where I could do that with effectively. I guess technically I could use all kinds of different sorts of game engines to build that. I've not published a book, no. But the Dungeons and Dragons rule book that I made, Trolls and Tyrants, I did just put it out in the open. It's open license, it's not published though. Let me share that. The website's not really complete. Some issues with it. Like the file, half the files are missing, unfortunately. But I mean, it's out there. It's been out there forever. Also for like a decade. But yeah, I've not really invested a lot of time and money in that. If I just pay them, then I'd probably easily be able to re-upload that stuff that's now broken. But they're basically like, oh, if you want to fix it, you have to pay us money. Yeah, not gonna do that. Wow, 19 Rogans down, 0 up with 19 watching. Great! Whatever! Oh, you're not talking about Flat Earth. Why aren't you bickering about Flat Earth and the globe? Is that it? Just talking about games and Dungeons and Dragons today. I mean, can't we just do that? It's not going to be every damn day. Did I draw that logo? Yeah. You're not an artist, so I play games. Okay. Well, I don't consider myself, when it comes to drawing, like an artist. I never really made it beyond just basic sketching level. There's so many people out there that just on a whim they can draw way and way better. But I mean, what I draw in my sketches, it does suffice. It's good enough for me to be able to communicate whatever I'm trying to communicate. Or to just quickly have something to look at. But yeah, I'm not pretending like my drawings or whatever are professional quality, not at all. Right. I've been going for 2 hours. I'm gonna round out the show. I guess I'm having like an in-between phase or something. I don't feel low energy, but I mean, it's just... yeah, nothing inspirational about the Technium or Tartaria or the Plateau Earth is spilling forth. What's the necklace? It's silver. Silver is expensive. You're a chat. Yeah, it's a troll. Yeah, TikTok losers. What the fuck? Fix that name. It's a troll. It's a sock account respawn of what I banned. It's an asshole. Don't talk to him. Like, it's removed. It's removed because it's a troll. Spot price silver is... yes, silver has gone up enormously, and so has gold, and just too bad because I used to have tons of that 10 years ago. Now I have nothing. And I'm feeling really stupid because of that. If only I had figured out how to live more efficiently so that I would not have like sold it all. Because now it would be worth double what I got for it at the time. And it happens every time. This shit happens every goddamn time. Right? Only way to stop it is to have a job and have a more solid income and just have surplus, and then yeah, all that shit becomes relevant to me again. And I'm gonna work on it. I am working on it. And when I succeed, then there will be no more daily show. There just won't. And at this point, sometimes I'm looking forward to it, because nobody fucking ever shows up. A bunch of randoms and a bunch of trolls undercover, and that's it. And then maybe like 3 shows a month where suddenly actually people that I know show up and it's cool. And that's it. So if that's already happening, then yeah, might just as well just discontinue the show in favor of spending my hours working for money. I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that agree, like, hey, finally get a job, because they've been whining about it for goddamn years. Yo, fuck off. Right, so thanks everyone for coming, or nobody coming, or whatever it is. Hope you liked the show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogans it up. And if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon, GiveSendGo. Links are in the description box below, or send me super chat over to Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I can always use it. Right, I'll be back tomorrow. Should be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 2411 on a Thursday. Hope to see somebody there. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just not do a show. I could have just skipped today too. Sounded like something amazing came out. Right, anyway, hope to see you on the next show, and until the next video, keep it flat.